Nicola Sturgeon has been dealt a massive blow after Express readers urged Boris Johnson not to bow to her demands for a second referendum on Scottish independence. Scotland First Minister is ramping up her campaign for a second Scottish independence referendum, but Westminster has continued to insist the economic case does not exist following the UK's full departure from the European Union on New Year's Eve. The SNP leader urged Brussels to keep a light on for Scotland. She tweeted a picture of the words Europe and Scotland attached by a love heart, adding, "Scotland will be back soon, Europe. Keep the light on." The image had previously been projected onto the side of the EU Commission building in Brussels. Ms. Sturgeon continued to put her case forward for Scotland to leave the Union, pointing to Ireland taking a seat at the UN Security Council for the next 2 years. She wrote in another Twitter post, "As independent Ireland takes up her seat on the UN Security Council today, not yet, independent Scotland is taken out of the EU against our will." But in the latest Express poll, readers have urged the Prime Minister not to bow to demands from Ms. Sturgeon for a second referendum on Scottish independence. The poll, which ran from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, January 2, asked, should Boris Johnson call a Scottish independence referendum in 2021? A huge 74% 6,777 readers of Express readers urged the Prime Minister to call a Scottish independence referendum in 2021. The remaining 26% 2,224 readers said he should, while less than 1% 81 readers were undecided. One Express.co.uk reader said, "Definitely not. This would be against democracy as we understand it, as the Scottish people have already voted on this issue and decided to remain in the Union. You cannot just keep having a referendum on the issue until you get the result you prefer." A second person wrote, "If he, Boris Johnson, does, then the rejoiners will be demanding a referendum to rejoin the EU in 6 years' time. How could they be refused? Even if the result was the same, it would have wasted millions. I do not want to pay for another Scottish referendum either." Another reader commented, "They have had their referendum, so no. If Boris does give in, the Remainers will demand another one." SNP Deputy Leader Keith Brown told Express.co.uk earlier this week it was, beyond doubt, the only way to protect Scotland's people and interests were to become an independent country inside the EU. But Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross has said Scots don't need to view everything through the prism of independence. In his New Year message, Mr. Ross said, "The perpetual and phony grievance of the SNP must be challenged.